Tired of adventuring alone? Feel like a Batman without his Robin? Well, the new Unearthed Arcana is going to handle that for you. Today we'll be discussing Sidekicks.
Welcome to the Home Brew Crew. I'm Sean and this is Tony, and today we're talking about the brand new Unearthed Arcana, Sidekicks. And Sidekicks came out about a day or two ago.
Yep.
And it's really cool because it's funny, my players were messaging me like, oh my god, there's finally sidekick NPCs that we can add to the party.
Every single one of them expecting to get their own.
Yeah. And as a DM, I was already very concerned.
You're like, your eyes widen, you sit there and go,
yeah.
Okay, what does this mean? Well, I mean, that's what we're here to talk about today is how are you going to incorporate this into your campaign? How are you going to play test it and see if it actually, it actually works with it? It's a cool concept. I love the concept.
Yeah, and I think obviously with all Unearthed Arcana, it's important to note that this is playtest content. This is not necessarily balanced yet. This is designed to be broken apart and used in order to make it better. So that being said, the way that sidekicks work is essentially you add this NPC to the party, and it's going to generally be linked to one other person.
Okay.
Now, it's important to note that the two of you must be friends, which is kind of an interesting little detail there.
Well, an
so you
enemy.
You can't tow a slave around, basically, or like grab a goblin and make him your friend.
Come with me. No, don't want to.
Yeah,
no,
right.
You absolutely have to.
Yes.
You have to be friends with it.
Yeah, and then the other thing is it has to be a challenge rating of 1 or lower, which is good. That's fairly balanced.
And fairly challenging in itself to find something that's 1 or lower. We've thumbed through the book a little bit and went,
right.
I don't know.
Because when you initially get that companion, they're not going to be that strong, but the big thing is that they level up as you progress with your leveling as well. I
suggest selecting a commoner and just kind of going from there because they have the base of basically nothing.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. One of the notes that they do add is that the DM can obviously play as this sidekick, and the party can also choose to co-play it as well. So even though it's like your NPC, you can still work with the party to make it do things in combat or whatever. Right,
and I took that to be, when it says co-play with other players at the table, I took that to be more of the idea of, you can coordinate with each other of what you're going to do, who's going to do it, and if you're not there that day, let's say you don't show up for that session, which you should never do, and you should always call your DM in advance.
Yes, please.
But if you're not there, then your other party members can actually still have that NPC sidekick thing.
Right, they can still utilize it even if you're not there.
Yep.
So like I said, it levels up, it gains hit points, it gains proficiency bonuses as well. It gets ability score increases. It basically has a lot of the same things as like a player would.
And it's funny that you say that because I was watching and reading through Merle's tweets and everything on this, right? And he said as he was writing this, he started thinking of I think it was Mike Merle's. I don't know if it was Mike or Crawford. I don't remember. All I do remember is that they were saying that they saw classes that they could make with this. Like, he was like, oh, that's actually kind of a cool idea that I put in there. Maybe we can make a class out of that. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. But, it is, they're pretty basic, though. I mean, it's a warrior, a thief, and a
it's your stereotypical
finger trifecta
of classes. If you pick it to be a warrior, it's going to get a lot of warrior features. Second wind, improved critical, extra attack, indomitable.
Lots of extra attacks.
Oh, a ton of extra attacks.
Lots of extra attacks.
Yeah. Even though this thing might not be hitting for a lot, it's going to do a lot of attacks, so it's kind of cool. Or you could pick it to be the rogue character, basically
the expert.
Yeah, it gets cunning action. It can help as a bonus action. It gets jack of many trades. Has all these more sneaky, techie kind of things instead of like a fighter.
I like the inspiring help. We read that the other day. When it reaches 9th level, instead of just being able to do a help action, it does a help action plus a d6.
Yeah,
which is kind of nice. It's like help and inspiration.
Exactly, all in one roll. So that's really nice.
Yeah.
And then finally, you can pick it to be a spellcaster, and the cool thing is, you pick which list of spells it takes from, so you can be like a druid, a sorcerer, or a wizard, what have you, and then it levels up accordingly. It's going to gain new spell slots. It's going to get ability score improvements. Same thing as the other two classes.
And in that, I see my first thing that I would kind of limit.
And that would be?
I don't think even if it's at level 20, it should have a 9th level spell.
That's scary.
That's
a little
like,
scary.
You know, just thinking of sidekick NPCs, like the one thing that I always go, and I know that we're probably going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here with it, but I think this is really the core of this video, is not necessarily to go, hey, look at this thing gets this and it gets that, but to see how we can incorporate it. This thing of 9th level spells, 5th level spells, like honestly, to me, a sidekick is always somebody that's lower than you.
Yeah.
Like, you never see Robin outdoing Batman when they're together.
Hopefully
you see what
not,
I'm saying?
right.
Robin on his own can go and do something, but you never see, you know, Batman going, oh, wow, look at him go.
Yeah, or Robin, save me.
You're right.
And you know what
Never
the problem
happens.
is? Problem is, again, this sidekick becomes another player.
Right. Now, it's great for a campaign that has only, like, 2 players in it.
Oh, yeah.
Like tomorrow night at the Ignite League when we run it, when we've only got 3 people
Right, we might have
showing up.
to implement a sidekick tomorrow.
Right, exactly. But when it's on its own like that, and you have a full group of party members, initiative, rebellion. When you have a full group of party members like that, it doesn't really make sense. Like, as a DM, I look at it and go, yeah, it's cool for the players. It's going to be hell for me when I have to go up against these guys.
Yeah,
and it's hard enough.
I mean, a lot of people are running campaigns with 5, 6, sometimes 7 or 8 players. Imagine adding another one. Now
5
you
is the
have
magic number, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 is good. 5 is the magic number.
Right. Even if you have 6, add a sidekick, you're gone, because now you've got another person to worry about. And the interesting thing is, like, you know, this is the sidekick thing is actually more feasible to implement in a homebrew campaign than book content.
Sure.
Because, like, you know, the book content's pretty set. In a homebrew campaign, anything can happen. Oh, I like that squirrel. He's my sidekick. And, you know, anything could happen with the sidekick mechanic, you know?
I like that squirrel. He's my sidekick.
Hey, I that sounds like something I would do. So.
It sounds like something half of our players would do.
Yeah, that's
no
the problem,
ideas. You hear me? No ideas.
That's gonna happen. It's too late now. The damage has been done.
We're gonna reconvene in January, and everyone's gonna have a squirrel friend.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that there are some flaws. There are some things that I would definitely change about it.
Yeah, and the biggest thing, and perhaps it has not been implemented because this is playtest content. There's no cost or drawback to getting a sidekick.
Yeah, we're just gonna make our players more powerful and make our monsters less exciting. Imagine this. Let's say everybody gets a sidekick.
Yeah. Right. So you got 5 players in your
Why
party.
battle the dragon? Just send all the sidekicks in. See what happens.
They're level 10s. That'll be fine.
See, but it reminds me of like followers and all those different things that you used to be able to... Like, okay, so you used to have... Way back in the day.
Yeah, ye old times, yes.
Let's say you got to a dungeon and you killed the dragon, whatever that was at the bottom, and there's all this gold. Mm-hmm. You couldn't carry that gold back. You had to hire people to come with you to take that gold out. And I liked the idea that you had to pay them. Mm-hmm. Similar thing. I don't think this sidekick's just going to pal around with me because he likes me.
Yeah.
No, forget sidekicks. Mercenaries. That's where it's at. Mercenaries.
Right. And speaking of you know, paying them, they probably eat.
Oh, they eat.
And
they have to
somewhere.
sleep to get those spell slots back.
Yes.
You know?
So one thing you could do is, what you should probably do, honestly, is implement a cost system in regards to currency and needs of the sidekick.
If you have to feed and water your horse, you have to feed and water your apprentice.
Yes, it's highly recommended.
Yes.
And then the great thing is that you can do as a DM is, like, besides food and besides money, what if, like, they're there for like it's almost like another cost, like, oh, by the way, I need, like, a human sacrifice once a day, so if you don't do that, we're not cool. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know
like,
if I would be friends with someone that needed a human sacrifice every day.
Hey, play an evil character, that might be all what you're about, but you know what I'm saying?
I do play an evil character. Nobody has ever asked me for a human sacrifice.
Not yet.
I spoke too soon. All right.
But basically what we're saying is, besides the cost, there's really not another drawback to owning one of these. Everyone can get one as long as you're friends, and, you know, that's really it.
You know, the thing I did notice, though, about these, they don't get racial benefits.
They don't.
You don't pick a race on them.
Right. So, like, let's say you pick a bugbear.
Okay.
Which you can.
You can. Yes, he's in that level margin.
Yeah, believe it or
there.
not, he's a CR1, so this is actually
Basically
a
any
legal choice.
humanoid, though, the like the commoners and the city folk and the acolytes
Right.
and all those, you can pick those.
Yeah.
A cultist? Why not? Hey, Von Tall could have a cultist following him.
That'd be cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you're right. They don't gain any of the racial benefits. They're purely going to go off whatever they have as a base stat block, plus whatever they're getting as they level up.
Yeah, which isn't too bad. I think this is something you kind of have to throw in a campaign and test it. I would definitely not give every single one of your players a one of these. I would just maybe throw one in the campaign, test it out, see how it goes.
Yeah.
But that's few and far between. I wouldn't necessarily just like throw this out there, even though everybody wants to have a pet at one point.
Yeah, and one thing I do worry about is like, oh, he has a pet. Can I have one? Or why can I get one? And then you're going to run into this problem where things get a little crowded. So hopefully you implement some kind of limit system or where they tag in and out.
You all have to take care of Steve or Malnus. That's how that goes.
Right.
Yeah, it's a group effort. It takes a village. Okay.
Exactly.
So, but I think it's something we really have to try out. It doesn't seem like it's all that bad. Although I do, like I said, I do like the concept. Key things with it that we would change. Right off the bat, what would they be? It would be some sort of cost for it. Mm-hmm. I would lessen the spellcasting ability or the number of levels that a thing could get up to.
Yeah, maybe even set it to like 15. Because I feel like level 20 is this. It's an accomplishment. As a player, like I'm level 20. Oh, so is Joe.
I wouldn't even mind throwing in there a cap of the thing of like it can only be a maximum of half whatever level you are.
That's true.
So then because it's the sidekick thing is that it's tied to you.
Right. But you as the player, you are the star of the show. This is your story. This is not your sidekick or your companion story. This is you,
Sure. Well, that cabbage farmer or something like that just wants to tag along.
Yeah.
I don't know. The other thing that I would do is I would forego or create another section of this instead of it being a fighter and a thief and a spellcaster. I would have a tradesman. I would have it where you have a tradesman that can walk around with you instead. So he can learn to cook, he can learn to clean, he can do making the armor and everything else.
Right.
That way your time is not on it. Kind of like a page system.
Yeah, exactly. You can kind of have someone basically take care of the everyday chores. Because sometimes in your campaign you might want to not have to worry about it, or your players might not have to worry about it. There's not really one of these classes doesn't really specialize in that. They're all kind of built for combat,
right? And the cool thing with that would be like you want to be able to sell a magic item or do something like that. You give it to this guy to go and do. Mm-hmm. He's got the for him to level up. I would definitely put in a tradesman. I would definitely make it where at level 3 he can now work with us to get discounts on different shops and things like that. Or, he can get different materials for you every level. Mm-hmm. See, that way it actually has a benefit to it, but it's not adding anything to the combat experience.
Right, exactly. And then in regards to leveling up, let's say like your party member gets it and they're like maybe they're near the end of the game and they only have a couple more levels to go. You can even implement your own leveling up system for the sidekick as well. Set like a certain amount of like accomplishments that they have to make or something. Like it doesn't have to necessarily be tied to that player because it's kind of just like this like, oh, I level up, he levels up. I level up, he levels up. You can make it so the sidekick has its own thing. That way they don't have to be locked to the player necessarily.
Absolutely. I think it's a fantastic idea and a good way to implement and see how it goes.
Yeah.
But again, this is something that we're going to have to try. Come January, we might be showing you guys our campaigns live. We're going to be starting our stream.
Yeah. We're currently in the process of working that out. So once everything has been set in stone and once we have like all the wires hooked up and everything, we should be able to go ahead and stream pretty much the Act 2 of my homebrew campaign. That way you guys can see what we do, what we love to do, and you can take some tips. And we're learning every day as well. And we like to get critique and we like to get advice. So we love hearing back from you guys as well.
So it's going to be a fun little journey. We just recently were kind of deletes. We've got our website up now. If you want to go to dmbrewcrew.com, you can sign up there. Mm-hmm. It'll have a link in the description and everything else below for everyone to check out. And we're just going to keep asking you guys to send us as many of your homebrew creations as we possibly can because we love going through them and seeing how we can put them in and see if they actually work. If you want something balanced, we could do that too. Lastly, the Slavkin Race is coming out very soon.
Which we built on the spot in about the span of a couple minutes with the wonderful people at Con Delete. And Tony's been hard at work nailing and cranking down the final kinks to it, and it's beautiful. And we're so excited to reveal it. We can't wait; it's almost done too. So that'll be something fun to release to you guys.
Yep, it's gonna be a blast. So remember, the best campaigns are always the ones that are homebrewed that you make yourself. So until next time. Keep brewing.